Hello, I'm Carmen Harlan, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to Concepts. Now, I don't know if you're a moviegoer or not, but one of the movies nominated for an Oscar in 1989 was The Dead Poets Society. In that movie, actor-comedian Robin Williams plays a high school English teacher. In one of many scenes, Williams orders his students out of their desk and asks them to stand on his. There was a method behind his apparent madness. It was to encourage the students to find new perspectives, to get out of their comfort zone, to break new ground and break the mold. So for the rest of this meeting, I ask that you open your mind to all the possibilities Concepts offers. 4 years in the making, Ford Motor Company's new online ordering system will be launched regionally in 1990. In that time frame, users like Bob Weichert of Weichert Ford in Lake Wales, Florida, and Joe Clipston of Rusty Eck Ford in Leavenworth, Kansas, played a major role in its development.
Ford really worked with us on Concepts, as opposed to programs in the past where they would have some dealer feedback, generally after the design process was already done. With Concepts, they listened to us up front, and we were able to make changes and entire changes to the program as we went along, and we were able to improve it through using it, gaining experience with it, making those adjustments so that Concepts would truly be a great program to use.
Ford listened to us very strongly, realizing that we were the big user of it. So yes, many things that we put in are in there.
As I said earlier, Concepts is revolutionary, but is it just a gimmick that will only complicate your life, or will it really help overall dealership productivity in the 90s? To answer that question, we went to several Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealerships nationwide to discuss this issue.
From my perspective, I've seen a lot of improvements in Concepts since its initial introduction. We've had an opportunity to use it here just about from the beginning of the pilot stage. It also has a chance of maybe heightening our awareness of our inventory and balancing the inventory better than the current system. So I see the future could bring a lot of not only savings in terms of inventory expense, but potentially more sales in terms of balancing our inventory better and also potentially getting retail orders in and fleet orders in much quicker.
I believe Concepts can be a great tool for a salesman to utilize, especially in impressing his customer with his knowledge and his ability to work with modern technology. I do think it adds tremendous credibility when you put something on a computer screen in front of a customer. We have seen that over the years with our finance and insurance department, that it tends to add credibility when a payment is shown on a screen rather than if you just tell them. I believe that when we get into a situation where maybe another dealer has indicated something can be built when in fact we know it can't, when we bring it up on a computer screen and show them that Ford pops up with a compatibility error, that in fact we were correct. If I were a salesman today, I'd be real excited about it.
I think the customer feels that the dealership is much more professional when they can come in and give them an accurate price and accurate specifications. It's always tough to go back to the customer after you've accepted the deal and have all the specifications there in front of them and say, look, I forgot to head on the step bumper that's required, or spare tire is required, for instance, on an F-250 four-wheel drive. And so you're able to keep the customer out of the area of having to change the specifications because you made a mistake. And I think it does allow the customer then to have much more confidence in you and gives them a better satisfaction feeling about the dealership.
Okay, so Concepts turn salespeople and customers on, not off. And you don't have to be a computer hacker to use it to your advantage. But what about its role in placing orders?
And in every instance, especially with the Lincoln Mercury store, we've discovered that every order that we've created through Concepts, initiating the hard copy at the time of purchase, has resulted in delivery.
The best feature of Concepts has to be the fact that it reacts with you and that it will correct your orders as you go along. Or not correct your orders, but it'll tell you when you've made a mistake.
To my line of work, the best feature of Concepts is that I, as one individual, can create an order or a stack of orders, go online, put those stack of orders in, print up a confirmation screen of each individual one, which I then have as a paper trail to cover what I've done. And when I'm through with that online session, those cars are in the bank, they're clean, schedulable orders, and I don't have to worry about them anymore. I can go on to the next thing.
I think the best feature of the concepts is the ability to go in and know that you have an accurate price and that you have an accurate vehicle order, so that you are able to go in a selling situation with confidence instead of doubt that you may have made a pricing error.
There were other favorite features of concepts noted by pilot dealers. It makes them look smart because it's smart.
Well, concepts is an idea that when I first heard it, really got me excited. The idea of being able to place an order and know that the minute I hit the send button, it's in the system, was the thing that excited me initially. Once I got into it and found that there were other benefits, meaning specifically the library where I could store frequently ordered vehicles in very simple form, so I could just bring those out and do my stock orders quickly, it even became more exciting to me. It is such an advance over the batch system that it's almost like going from the old system of having to hand rub on a piece of paper with a pencil and then moving up to computer.
And when you do things the old way, basically, through DCS, you have no way of knowing what's compatible or what's not. All it is the computer is taking your information and then transmitting it to Ford. Through concepts, it's telling you as you go along if you have problems.
Well, basically under batch, I would, myself or the new car manager, would write an order out on paper. We then take it in, give it to the operator. She in turn has to take her time to put it in. And we wait till the next day to get answers. Concepts, I can sit down now, I can put it in an order. I can do it at 4 o'clock in the morning, my lap model. I can do it later today. I can do it a dozen times during the day.
Ordering of trucks today is far more complex than it's ever been before. The major problem being the number of drivetrains available, the number of payload packages. Is it over 8,500? Is it under 8,500? It's especially true in the pickup trucks. It's something that seemingly, no matter how hard we try utilizing our spec book to get the order correct, invariably when we send the order in through the batch system and it comes back, there's a problem.
It seems Concepts represents a great improvement over the batch system. From the comments so far, Concepts has many features that are state-of-the-art when it comes to the vehicle ordering process. Now I'll sign off for a few minutes so you can see firsthand how Concepts works.
And now, Pumping Up with Hans and Franz, the informative program for the serious weightlifter.
I am Hans. And I am Franz. And we're here to pump you up. Yeah, that's right. We wanted to open today's show and your minds, but Ford thought our accents were too thick, so they hired that girly woman, Carmen Harlan. But you know, this is the 90s, and change is good. And I don't mean your socks, right, Hans?
That's right, Franz. You know, thanks to the computer, we recently discovered a new muscle group as undeveloped as Lapland. So we went exploring.
Yeah, we thought we would boldly go where no pumpitude has gone before.
Yeah, you are right, Franz. Hear me now and believe it later. Computer training has taken us beyond biceps and triceps, all the way to concepts.
That's right. Concepts can take your order faster than a McDonald's drive-thru. Yeah. Show them, Hans, while I spot you.
Thanks to computers, a typical concepts workout takes much less time, and it can build strong inventories, better than Wonder Bread. Try that, Mr. Chevrolet girly man. Only He-Man, Ford, and Lincoln Mercury dealers have concepts. Believe it.
But you know, Hans, there are still some computer fraidy cats out there. Hear me now and listen to me later. Like my father used to say in Bavaria, you can lead a horse to an old dog, but tricks are for kids.
Yeah, that's right. but you don't have to be afraid anymore, thanks to the Hans and Franz Home Computer Pump-a-Tooth course.
Yeah, we'll pump you up with our super home video, Concepts Commandos. At last, a home workout video that's better than Jane Fonda's. One that shows you how to change orders prior to lock-in, and that allows you to flex your specs.
Yeah, and with Concepts, you don't have to join the Navy just to manage your fleet. It's all in the Hans and Franz Computer Commandos Pump-a-Tooth course. Just call the toll-free number on the screen right now, 1-800-CONCEPTS. Helmut will be standing by.
Yeah, and if you call after 5, just leave your name and phone number when you hear the muscle tone. Believe it.
So now, everybody, open your minds so you can pummel those Chevrolet girly men. Pummely, 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 pummely.
Okay, Hans, enough freestyle pummeling.
Yeah, okay. Here are more Concepts users to pump, pump,
Pump you up.
I'll say this. There sure are times when I'm glad I'm not Maria Shriver. More on Concepts now. Imagine ordering your month's supply of Tauruses or Sables in a few minutes. The multiple vehicle order feature allows the Concepts user to do just that.
By having the multiple order screen now, we can go ahead and put our specifications in, and when we go to our next screen, we've got all the orders broken down, and we can just plug in the colors and then hit return, and we've got our orders in the system. It's a really excellent way to be able to order vehicles, saves a great deal of time.
The multiple vehicle order feature I use quite often, especially when I'm ordering a large group of cars, like I ordered somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 cars last week. It speeds up my session a little bit to be able to sit down and, okay, I've got 5 of this and I've got 4 of that, group them ahead of time so that I know, and then just simply pop them in. It's a very good feature, and I use it good grief. I think the last time I checked, about 40% of the time.
It whitens, it brightens. Concepts really makes orders cleaner. Compatibility errors are immediately identified. Easy-to-use help screens alert users to the reason why a compatibility problem exists and how it can be corrected. The result is that every order is a clean order. We didn't need a hidden camera to find these glowing testimonials.
It has eliminated a lot of the searching through the order book, trying to fit pieces together on a truck or a car, whereas I now know that I can go directly into the machine and I can ask it the information and it'll tell me if something will work.
Concepts makes it impossible to create a compatibility problem. If you make a typographical error using a batch system, you have no idea that you've made that typographical error until you have an order receipt acknowledgement that comes back the next day that says you messed up.
Anyone who sells to fleets can attest to the fact that new business is often tough to win. According to the pilot users, Concepts has proven to be a valuable tool for conquesting as well as retaining current business by providing a level of flexibility and responsiveness that just hasn't been available until now.
If you've got a fleet customer who is interested in ordering 15 grand marquees, and you can sit down with him and fire up Concepts, put in his specifications, the car's priced out on the screen for him, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You didn't make a mistake. You get a confirmation from him that that's what he wants. And it works just like a retail deal at that point, because you are using a tool which allows you to interact with your customer in a little more professional manner.
With regard to Lincoln Mercury and the fleet business, Concepts is a genuine enhancement simply because it provides us with the opportunity to get immediate pricing to determine if the product is available and buildable at a point in time without guessing at the accuracy of our own arithmetic. We can price the vehicle through Concepts. We can determine if it's a buildable order now. If in fact the client wants the vehicle, we can build it now, and we can have it on the ground in the shortest period possible.
Let's say it's the night before production lock-in. You found that those Explorers with the Eddie Bauer packages are moving like hotcakes and you want more. or you want to change the color on one to replace the one you've just sold. You can make the change the way you always have and hope it will come back clean tomorrow. Or you can make the change through Concepts and enjoy a little peace of mind.
One of the things that I do like about Concepts is that I am able to alter or cancel orders prior to production lock-in, and that's a real nice feature because I know the change is made. When you use DCS, you kind of hope that it's been made, or you get no feedback from the machine. You're just entering information. You're hoping you're doing it right.
Well, we've had situations where a retail customer has ordered a car. We've gone ahead and submitted the order, and then 2 days later the customer calls up and says, "Oh, by the way, I think I'd like to add a trailer towing package to that car." I can go into Concepts while the customer's on the phone, pull up the order, add the trailer towing package to it, pull up a confirmation screen, and tell him what the new price of his car is going to be. In other words, give him some idea of how that's going to affect his final cost.
The Pilot dealers say Concepts has numerous features that can't be found on the batch system. One of the most important being the library feature. It gives you added flexibility to deal with customers, or simply reduces the time spent ordering new vehicles.
The library is the one feature that I would really like to utilize even more than I do now. But what I am using it for currently is I pick the PEP packages that are going to be the most often ordered for the dealership in terms of, let's say, for example, now the Tempo and the Taurus. I put together a sample order of what I would like to order most of those vehicles as and put them in the library. And I utilize a code in the library that matches the PEP number. For example, I would use 401A for an Aerostar. I would use 204A for a Taurus, because those are familiar and easy to find for those of us that order cars all the time. Once I've done that, when I want to sit down and order some Tauruses, I would just go to the library, pull out that particular library item, and then add the colors, add the order numbers, and it's done.
Just this last week, I had a customer that called me and wanted an F-150 Super Cab, and we didn't have that type of unit. In fact, it was the unit that we needed to be a 302 with an E40D, just a recently released unit. And so we couldn't locate one either because there just weren't any out there. It had just gone into production. And so I was able to go on and spec the unit out, get a price, save it in the library so that I could come back to it at a later time, sell the unit, and go back to the library, make the color change that I needed to make, and add two-tone, which he also decided on, and then again price it out to him, again save it in the library so that then when he signed up for the truck, then I was able to quickly go back in, add an order number, submit the order, and get it built for the customer.
And another important thing we discovered from the Pilot dealers is that Concepts can significantly increase your efficiency, which in turn allows you to spend more time on other aspects of your business.
Concepts helps me minimize the time I spend in the actual process of ordering vehicles. It's true that I have to sit down and I have to budget a certain period of the day to actually sit down and do the orders. But once I'm done with that, it's over with. I don't have to worry about glitches, and I can go on to other things that I do in the dealership.
During 1989, we sold 5,005 new Fords and Lincoln Mercurys. We did that at one location. The locations have now been separated. During that same period of time, we sold just about 800 Lincoln Mercurys, the balance being Ford cars and Ford trucks. At the present time, I work at both locations, but I'm able to order both Ford and Lincoln Mercury from one location using Concepts. And I find that to be a genuine enhancement in my ability to be able to manage the inventories at both stores.
Concepts is an optional ordering system for Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers, with only a permitted charge for actual usage. This charge follows a free trial period, which will allow you to determine how it can enhance your productivity on Ford's nickel. Does it have a place in your dealership? Well, it sure does for these dealers, and we believe it can for you too.
I think the real challenge Concepts is not learning how to use the program because it's simple to use, but rather how to use it to sell more vehicles and to make more profit. There is a cost to concepts. And to offset that, if you don't sell more vehicles or make more money, then there's no use in using concepts. You might as well order through the DOE system. I know here in our dealership, we've been able to use concepts to increase our sales.
My understanding is that the entire cost of the development of concepts is being picked up by Ford Motor Company, and to me, that's a very fair way to handle it. And those of us who want to use the online system can. If we don't, we don't have to. So we're only going to be charged for what we are using, and to me, that's very similar to other areas that we have now in our dealerships. Whether it be just normal phone usage or anything like that, you pay for what you use, and I think that's very fair.
I'd like to think that as an investigative reporter, it's important to offer a balanced point of view. Surely there must have been something our test dealers didn't like about concepts.
Frankly, I haven't found that there's anything that I would consider to be negative, because the positives are so overwhelming. Everything that we can do with concepts online is a do-it-now process. The end product is genuine, it's concrete, and with immediate feedback.
I really haven't found too many disadvantages of the concept system, except for the fact that we currently can't order all vehicle lines. I think once the initial rollout in June or July takes place, we will have eliminated most of the problems that existed because of that. In general, what they've done with the system and the natural progression of the development of the system has really worked out very well, and I look forward to using it once it's on full time.
The only disadvantage I could really see to concepts, in my opinion, is that when computers are down, you get so dependent on it, it's kind of hard to go back to the old system.
Prior to becoming a Concepts test user, Hal Lucas of Town Ford had little experience with computers. Like many of the Pilot dealers, Hal was, for the most part, a computer novice, but after using Concepts, had this to say.
I would recommend Concepts to all Ford dealers. It's a program that brings modern technology into our dealerships. It gives us a tremendous variety of options in terms of using the library, in terms of quick orders, in terms of not having to worry about compatibility. It's a system that once you get used to it, once all vehicle lines are available on it, it's just going to be absolutely tremendous.
Yes, I would recommend it to anybody. I would recommend Concepts to any dealer, and I think that Concepts could be used, almost any dealer could use it. And there's something in there for them. And it's like any system, the better you learn to use it, the quicker it operates for you.
Now, I would, of course, recommend Concepts to any Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealership, particularly if they are interested in maybe getting a little more of a handle on the man hours that they spend putting their merchandising plan together. I'd have a hard time recommending it to the guy down the street because, frankly, I'd like to have a little edge on him.
Ford Concepts, by all indications, represents an important tool to help your dealership, a significant enhancement to vehicle ordering and inventory management. We'll leave you now with a few final thoughts on Concepts.
Now that I've had Concepts, it would be real hard for you to take it away from me. I wouldn't want to go back to the old system. I look forward to the day when I can order everything through Concepts. I think the car business is interesting in that many of the people who are in the business were kind of stubborn, and we don't like to see new ways to do things. But I think Concepts represents a way of doing things for the future, and that is that it's active with you, it helps you.
My overall impression of Concepts is it's probably one of the greatest things that come along in orders since I don't know when. It's so much faster than the old system. It gives us so much more we can do with it. There's so many things out there available under the system that it's so far advanced of anybody else's that I know of that I think it's going to take years for our competitors to catch up with us in it.
Well, I can see a time when, in order to be more competitive with our local dealers here in town, when we have 2, maybe 3 PCs set up out in the sales area to enable our sales force to utilize the Concepts library and the Concepts system, I think the customers are going to be very impressed by that. As far as I know, none of the competitive brands here in town are having any kind of a system similar to this in development stages. So I think that it's going to give us a very strong edge over our competition, again, because I believe that it brings us into the forefront of the 90s, and the customers like that. They like to see you improving with the times.
You've just been introduced to concepts and been made aware of some of the reasons why it is the right ordering and inventory tool for the 1990s. Concepts is going to be one of our things gone right. You've heard about the competitive advantages it offers for improved vehicle inventory management and the opportunity it presents for increased sales and customer satisfaction. It's a proven system which has been tested for a 3-year period at 100 dealerships of varying size across the United States.
And the majority of the dealers exposed to concepts during that period have reacted quite favorably to the system. Maybe some of those dealers are here today. We've made a strong effort to make sure that our dealers were the key to the development and enhancement of concepts in the pilot stage. You're the ones who helped make concepts more customer-friendly, who participated in brainstorming meetings before there was any such system, who helped design something they could be proud of, and more importantly, that would help them in their business. We feel that this process is another example of continuous improvement. And now that we have been through this long development process, we believe the system has enough merit to now expose more dealers to the process in order to determine its effectiveness for our future use.
We know many of you would like to try concepts in your dealership. For this reason, we're providing a free trial period. Like the concept users you heard today, we're sure that you will agree it can be a significant customer-driven tool. On one hand, we believe it will increase your profitability because it will assist you in ensuring that you're ordering the highest value models.
It's also a tool for your retail and fleet customers because it should help ensure that their order is clean, buildable, and priced as promised. Another benefit will be to help your image because your customer will be more impressed with your level of professionalism. We've learned from Lincoln Mercury Pilot users that today's customers really are impressed with this type of state-of-the-art technology. And when you can't sell them out of stock, it's an excellent closing tool for retail orders.
Concepts eliminates the worry of making mistakes when speccing out cars. Additionally, we've also learned that Ford dealers really appreciate how the very complex truck specs are simplified by using this system. Your fingers can literally walk through the many price, feature, and option variables. It's simple and it's paperless. And importantly, no other automaker, domestic or foreign, offers anything like Concepts. It's a Ford Motor Company exclusive.
Now, we understand that some of you may be somewhat skeptical about computer technology. But just remember, Concepts has been designed by dealers for dealers. So its function was virtually created at the grassroots level. With Concepts free trial usage, user-friendly training which you initiate at your discretion, and an 800 number helpline, you should be able to determine if Concepts meets your business needs. At Ford, we're committed to keep up with the changing technology in the marketplace, to make our short-term and our long-term goals a reality. At NADA, our booth with Concepts was one of the hot attractions, especially with our competition. But we've got it, and we got it first.
Concepts is an optional system, but as you've heard, the pilot dealers and the divisions support Concepts. That's why we'd like to have you try it. I think you'll find there's nothing to lose and everything to gain by participating in your region's rollout plans.
It's a system where seeing is believing. So I ask you to see if it's a system that will help your dealership improve the selling process and thereby improve your levels of customer satisfaction.
We've invested over $5 million in personnel, upfront technology, and the training to get Concepts up and running. To succeed, however, with Concepts we need your commitment and your feedback. Tell us if it isn't everything the pilot dealers said it is. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you would like changed. You have the opportunity to give all this information to us through a follow-up survey within 90 days of your regional launch program.
And remember, Concepts should be an effective retail sales tool, that enhances salesperson credibility, improves customer satisfaction, and elevates the image of the dealership. As we all know, productivity increases will be the name of the game for the 1990s. Phil and I urge you to try Concepts today so you can determine how it fits into the way you do business. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.